3 cameras, 3 price tag. And one question every filmmaker has asked at least once: which Sony cinema camera is actually worth your money? Because according to the internet, the FX30 is the budget king. The FX2 is the new contender. And the FX3? The FX3 is apparently the camera that can shoot in darkness, survive the apocalypse, and still deliver cinematic footage. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're settling one of the biggest debates in filmmaking right now. If you're a filmmaker, content creator, YouTuber, wedding cinematographer, or someone who's just obsessed with film gadgets, you've probably found yourself stuck between these 3 cameras. So today, we are comparing the FX2, the FX30, and the FX3. We're talking image quality, low light performance, usability, filmmaking workflow, and most importantly, which camera deserves your money. Let's start with the biggest mistakes most people make. They compare spec. But cameras are not just about specs. They are about who they are built for. The FX30 says, I want cinematic quality without selling my car. The FX2 says, I want flexibility and modern features. The FX3, I have a client shoot tomorrow, and failure is not an option. Now let's talk image quality, because all these cameras provide beautiful images. The FX30 delivers incredible, sharp, Super 35 footage. The FX3 doesn't just shoot in low lights, it negotiates with darkness. Now forget YouTube tests for a second. Imagine you're filming a wedding, and all of a sudden, the light goes off, and the DJ starts flashing red LED lights. The client surely does want cinematic footage of what's happening. And this is where the difference in these cameras come to play. You now have to decide when you have to capture cinematic footage in a very dark environment, not very dark, relatively dark environment. In fact, very dark environments. What gear should you pick? The FX2, the FX30, or the FX3? Now let's discuss the most painful specification of all: the price. Because cameras don't just cost money, they require lenses, batteries, memory card, rigging, and eventually, therapy. Looking at the price of these equipments, the choice is up to you. If you're looking for incredible value, the FX30 is hard to beat. If you want modern features and versatility, the FX2 deserves serious attention. But if low light performance, reliabilities, professional filmmaking are your priorities, the FX3 sits comfortably on the throne. But here's the truth. There isn't a bad camera in this comparison. The best camera isn't the one with the best specifications, it's the one that helps you tell your story. But before you decide if you're Team FX30, Team FX2, or Team FX3, I have one more question. Why does it feel like Sony is about to make this whole conversation a bit harder? Because over the last few weeks, the camera world has been flooded with rumors of a brand new cinema camera from Sony. The rumored Sony FX5. And if the rumors are true, this isn't just an FX3 Mark II. This will be a completely different beast. Reports from multiple camera rumor outlets suggest that Sony may be preparing a so-called mini Venice, featuring a brand new global shutter sensor, 5K open gates recording, a more professional cinema-focused body design. Some reports even suggest that this camera will sit above the FX3 and borrow design physiology from Sony flagship Venice cinema camera. Now, none of this is official. Sony hasn't announced anything yet. And there are even disagreements among rumor sources about whether it will be called the FX5 or the FX4. But if Sony is really about to release a compact cinema camera with a global shutter and open gate recording, then I ask you, why are we fighting over the FX2, the FX30, or the FX3? Or maybe that's exactly what they want us to do. So now I want to hear from you. If the Sony FX5 rumor is true, Will you still be going for the FX2, the FX30, or the FX3? Or would you wait? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on your post notification. Because if Sony finally announces this camera, we're definitely talking about it. See you in the next video. Bye.